Hi YouTube, how are you doing? I'm doing pretty good. I had another Greek lesson over on Lady Babylon this morning. I'm really starting to love that language. Not only um, will I be able to directly translate out of ancient lexicon, but scriptures that people don't even know what they're reading, but will swear to God the translation was written by the Spirit of God when it was written just the opposite. And so, yeah, just that in itself. It won't be long. I'm picking up on it. I mean, longer than maybe what I'd want to. It's not anything instantaneous because it's a technical language. I mean, that's why these people that call themselves theologians won't even touch it. It's like when I would correct somebody with the Greek from what I learned from the Masons, they just sit there and they'll keep with their lies because they're comfortable with it, because it supports their monist outlook on reality, on their outlook on what reality is. So I'm just going to be talking today about some different things that are on my mind. Um, the friends of Doug's that had bought me them Skechers, I had bought them some for from Bendazole and some ivermectin and sent it down to them so they can become healthy. And that does come in pill form too for human beings. And I was a vet tech and an ex-nurse, and I take it myself. You don't have to take it all the time, and you don't have to take a whole bunch. And it's made out of plants. It's like, but um, these people, Doug's friends, the mom and the daughter, hid that medicine from their dad until they talked to their doctor. Well, I sent one of my friends on Facebook is Dr. Daryl Wolf. Then there's another Naomi Wolf that is no relation to them, and another Dr. Shannon. Different doctors that support what I'm talking about. How this could have helped toward in the past with that stuff that they said that they wanted everybody to believe was outbreak, you know, that it could have helped during that Jabberoo time and the mask up baloney and all the rest of that. And some of us know that and some don't. So um, I shared some, went and dug up about, 4 or 5 articles and different documentations from medical doctors that these people can look at if they care about Doug's friend. They'll share that information with him so he can take the medicine that will help him, because most doctors won't prescribe it because it's cheaper than big pharma's medicine. That's why. And you can actually make it out of at home out of wormwood oil, sweetwood, wormwood. There's a difference. There's two different kinds. So yeah, I was a little heated, and I'm like, what? Anyway, whatever. If they don't want to be healthy, if you don't want to lose your guts, not literally, but all the bugs in there, and when you start getting the it's not a virus, the actual biological entities out of your body that cause methane in your body, once you get these toxins out of your body along with the bugs, at first you're going to feel like you sort of have the flu. No, first thing you're going to feel like you have an immense amount of energy. Then it's going to kind of drag you down, and you might even want to get off it for a few days and then get back on it. Your body will tell you what to do, you know. But so anyway, yeah, I was a little irritated, and I thought, well, I'll go a little further I'll share some medical information from doctors that support that, you know, because yes, they give it to horses and dogs and whatever, and cattle and different things that we end up ingesting anyway through that. Not the dog, hopefully, but you know. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm just wasting a little bit of time here before I'm gonna cook a really nice piece of coho salmon that I have and a whole bunch of different kinds of vegetables. I'm making a salmon salad tonight. So I would do that with tuna or salmon. So I have canned salmon too, but this just happens to be a frozen piece that I have. So yeah. Then when I'm doing that, I do have a can that I'm going to open up for my cats that are in the house so they don't drive us crazy when we're trying to enjoy our meal. So I eat once a day. I don't want no cats sitting there looking at me like they want my food, which they do sometimes. Not much with me. Doug's cat with him drives him crazy. I don't tolerate that. I taught them when they were little, don't bug me. You have your own food, and usually it's what I'm eating anyway. I tell them I'll either save them some or give them some at first. So either way. And they understand what I'm talking about. So better than a lot of people do. Isn't that true, people? I had a dog. Well, most of my dogs, I'd say, excuse me, and they'd move. Cats, too. You know, they know English. By the time a dog is a year old, they have the understanding of a child at the age of 5 or 6, that type of understanding with your vocabulary. So some excel that. I've taught dogs how to count, tell time, all kinds of, And horses have timing, like when you're dancing with your horse, dressage, it's embedded in them. They love music anyway. So most large mammals do, or most animals, you know. I don't know if they like rap. Maybe. It's a joke. I like some rap. I like just about everything. Depends. So, yeah. I unsubbed from some channels that were like totally talking down to me about like abilities people might have, like telling me who I am and who I'm not. It's like, oh, really? You know me better than I do? Wow, tell me more. I love the derogatory bullshit. Bring it on. Liars, just do something for me. You awaken that special spot. Yeah, you sure do. Cheers, everybody. Here's to the people who would rather die than lie. And if you're still a liar, better straighten it up. You sure don't want to meet me. Not even a white one. And all their bullshit. Oh, everybody lies. No, everybody doesn't lie. Some of us have honor and dignity. Did you ever hear that? you know? I'd rather be beat on by a gigantic fucking monster for telling the truth than cower in the corner like some twit of a liar and be left alone. Obviously, my scars tell me, tell you, yeah, she didn't keep her mouth shut. So, hey, You only live once, right? Or do you only die once? Or do you die? All these questions. you know, everybody's different. How about that one? Yeah, I like that one. We'll go with that today. Yeah. I shared Lady Babylon's. You can look into what's going on in that Greek class. You can actually even learn some of the different modes of Christing and what Christ means in the medical journals. The word that was used before they used it in the fictitious scriptures. So I'm not saying there is no God. Absolutely not. I'm not saying that at all. I never will. You'll never get me to dishonor the Almighty, ever, no matter what form he's taking, whether he's or not. So yeah, but yeah, whatever you believe, it doesn't really matter, you know, how you act. The meanest people I've came across consider themselves God fearing people. I'm sorry, I just can't activate my fear for anybody. If somebody wants to scare me, you better kill me. I just don't do fear. Well, I don't take it lightly. You better not. That's all I got to say. It's not a joke either. Yeah, it's pretty warm. I don't know if you can hear my fan. Hopefully, it isn't disrupting. I've had it on before and I didn't detect anything with it, but it might be. I don't know how much longer I'll be talking here, but just whatever is on my mind, you know. Oh, one of the people I unsubbed from, and I do feel for her, but nothing I say is ever going to change her mind. And I assume it's a woman, even though it's an electronic channel. And I shared one of her videos or their video about a bitter woman, a bitter old woman that hates you. Um, which one? you know, what time? How old was I? And they still do. How about that? But nothing I say is going to change this younger woman's mind because when you're in your glory and your beauty, I call it walking in your sunlight, you know, when other older people try to take your spotlight away from you or dull your shine, she'd never believe that I'm not like that, no matter what I say. So even interacting with somebody like that, it's not that I don't care. It just would be a waste of my time, you know. It's like, poor girl. She'll be okay because we've all been through it. Well, most of us, you know, some of us maybe not most of us. Because a lot of them, even if they're young or old and they're nasty and they look down on other women like that, they started that shit when they were little girls. They were nasty little girls to other girls like that too. So, and then they get in their little cliques and they'd all be nasty together. You know, it's like, yeah, whatever. So nothing I can say is going to change her mind in that way. It's like, yeah, I tried. Even by sharing it, I thought the first time, I thought, well, I'm sharing it for some women on my Facebook group that I know personally have gone through that also. And so I thought this will kind of help them because just to let them know they're not alone out there. And no, not all of us older women are looking down on beautiful young girls trying to dim your beauty or your light or anything good or precious about you. So, anyway, it's not just females that do that either. Um, Men do that to even their own sons, you know, because there's a lot of people of the older generation. Maybe this will be my main topic here too. That will try and dim your light. Try and they don't want you to excel further than they're willing to go. You know, if you're gonna excel like in whatever you're doing, but especially if it's in a spiritual sense, they don't want your spirit to go higher than theirs is going to go because that gives them the justification of staying still in their ignorance. And they want their children to be ignorant too, you know. I worked at a place and this one girl was supposed to be, they said she was handicapped, mentally ill. No, what she was subdued by her own mother and made to believe that she couldn't do anything for herself. So she was working just cleaning up a place, and I taught her how to prepare food. And the management got mad at me because that was their little slave. Well, too bad, bitches, you know? So, yeah, um, it really makes me angry when I see the older generation treating younger people poorly. I'll step right in and I'll do something about it too if I see it. You damn right I will. Every time. I'll never let it slide. That's not the only time. I mean, I've done this in families. I've disrupted groups of people trying to manipulate other people in various different ways. So yeah, I do that. I like doing that, you know. Anyway, yeah, they got mad at me. Well, I was a crew chief. I was supposed to train the employees, so I did. You know, anyway, I was in training for management, but it wasn't going to work. A friend of mine ran the restaurant, and um, her manager was Miss Gus Bucket or Mrs. I don't know. Anyway, but I was training to take that position over. But just even working with that thing, I couldn't deal with it. I had to go. You know. Uh, anyway. So, how is everybody doing? Are you doing good? I'm doing okay. I still have a spot that I think I tore a muscle, and I've been having to wrap it to even be able to sleep. That's a wrap. Yeah. So life's been a little hard physically lately, but I'm sticking in there. Still getting things done and whatever, but it's not easy sometimes, you know. It's an old injury that I re-injured, and it's not the first time. Hopefully it'll be the last, but yeah. I told Doug something about that Greek class this morning. He's always like, it's Greek to me, and I'm like, it's Greek to everybody. Even the common people over in Greece don't speak the ancient Greek like I'm learning, you know. It's different. That's why these theologians that go based on what is either English or Hebrew are talking out of their orifices that aren't the ones that should be speaking out of, or like Professor Almond says, taking us in the back alley, you know, trying to. I don't do well in back alleys. You don't want to corner me in an alley with a lie ever. That these people, they spit things out. They don't know what they're talking about for fact. They say they're people of God, but they're not listening to the Spirit, because if they were, that shit wouldn't be coming out of their mouths. Oh, and then Doug says to me he doesn't need to learn Greek where he's going. Then I come back in my room, and I was thinking, maybe, maybe he does. Maybe in our next life we're going to be speaking Greek. Wouldn't that surprise him? Yeah, wouldn't be bad if, I suppose, if it'd be a lot easier if you grew up speaking it. I'd have the advantage to know that that is what the texts are based on. Period. Everything else is a lie, and I'm so out to prove that. This people that say things like Greek scholars all agree that this isn't what a Christ is. Well, there's some of us that do agree that's what it is, and most of us have been medically trained and know what that biology and the physiology of that is, and the language. So they're going on fairy tale, we're going on facts. Still doesn't take God out of the picture, so I don't know what bugs these people have up their little gay panoonies, but I don't know if that's a word or not. I just thought it sounded okay. But yeah, they're Wawa whatevers, you know. But you can see the look on their faces when they say something and they know it's not actual. They either close their eyes, or when they're talking, they're like shifty, and it's weird. They get this weird look on their face before they say something stupid, you know. I wish I could see some of these electronic people back there when they're teaching me about myself. I'd love to see the look on your faces. That would be wonderful. Just how can you spit that out as a definitive, you know? It's like, wow, it's amazing. But they're faceless. I call them no name steaks. You don't know what it is. It's just been soaked in papaya juice to tenderize it, to make it more palatable, you know? Doesn't have to be real. Just put that no name on there and go with it. That's a theologian, you know, or a monist, you know. Be interesting when they really start digging in. Who I mean by they, not the theologians, the other people that want the truth, start really digging into what that black vial is, what it actually is, the beginning of life, the actual material. that is an infection, a vampiric infection, as a matter of fact. Just depends on how you deal with it and what you're going to do, where you're going to go, and how you'll either excel or you won't. Can you control that monster inside yourself, or are you going to become it? You know, I'm not into becoming a monster. I'm a monster slayer. So go ahead, keep lying about me and demeaning me. Go ahead. I love it. Bring it on. That brings to mind, too, how do you tell the difference between somebody that's being spiritually and physically attacked and what karma is? I would say you'd have to look at the person's integrity to begin with. Then you know who's getting what and why. You know, I don't think karma hits you full force until it's time for you to decide what you want to do with your soul. Then you're going to find out what real karma is. When death and hell are there and you're standing before it, that's when you meet your maker. It's not a joke. And I might laugh a lot about stuff, but what I'm saying is so serious, it's not even funny to most people, except for maybe me and maybe somebody else. Yeah, it's funny. How funny they just don't know. But it's really hilarious in a lot of ways because people try and use energies that don't belong to them, and it's not free. That's the funny part. So anyway, that's probably about enough for today. I just wanted to say hi and let you know that even though I am in some deep, dark pain, I haven't lost my sense of humor, and I will never lose my faculties. You know, the only time I've been down, so down that somebody could have called me fallen, is when I was being conditioned and drugged when I was a little child. When I got the hell out of there, you couldn't touch me with any fallen bullshit. I walked here. I didn't fall anywhere. Maybe you did. I don't know. Have no clue. Some of us chose not to get beat on. It's not just a spiritual war, Cupcake. It's not just principalities of the air. These are entities in flesh. It's a real battle. You doubt me? Would you like me to send you one of the demons that tries to with me through a human? What? Okay, so the body is what? Disposable? And there's nobody inside it? Get a grip. I'm not saying they can't be used by the dark force. I'm just telling you they're a part of the dark force. And it isn't just the principalities of the air. I get so sick of hearing that. Like, oh, we're not supposed to confront another human being. Hate the sin and not the sinner. No, I don't hate anybody, but I'm going to confront your bullshit with more than hate. You won't stifle the truth. And what I just spoke about, everything I just said is true. So anyway, okay, I'm going to get this uploaded. I hope you all have a wonderful week. I'll talk to you soon. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA.